Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, so I welcome you all to this next lecture on analog circuits. So today we are going to start with module number 3, and as we have already done with module number 4 in our previous 20 classes, and today we'll be starting with module number 3. And the reason for starting module number 3 uh, was very simple, because we have already learned uh, feedback kind of system in module number 4, which is basically the op-amp. So basically op-amp ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ voltage series and voltage uh, shunt kind of feedback amplifiers, because here, as you can see from module 4, we saw negative feedback configuration, and that negative feedback configuration was dealt using the op-amp. And in fact, we started with very small derivations with respect to how negative feedback amplifiers are going to be very helpful when it comes to having good gain, good input resistance, output resistance, all those parameters, bandwidth, and everything. And then that's how we started with op-amp. Now, once we are done with the understanding of op-amp in terms of its negative feedback configurations, two configurations we have learned: inverting and non-inverting. So, which are basically your voltage series and voltage shunt configuration. And on top of that, we have done with a lot of applications of these circuits, ranging from small summing amplifiers till Schmitt trigger 0% detector, and also in terms of filters. So once we are done with this, let's go ahead with the feedback amplifier concept itself. So now, here in the feedback amplifier module, again this module is broken into two sections. The first section will be, you are going to talk about the entire structure of feedback amplifier, the few properties, and how we are going to ensure those properties are valid. We are going to talk about that, and immediately we're going to discuss about what are the different topologies that are available in the feedback categories. So now already ಎರಡು category ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತು So in ಎರಡು ಮಾತ್ರ we are going to learn over here. So basically, how we are going to categorize, or what are the different names of feedback amplifier configurations that are available entirely. So that we are going to study. And ಎಲ್ಲ ತರದ್ದು ನಾಲ್ಕು feedback. So there are basically four feedback topologies. So entire four feedback topologies we are going to have discussion in terms of their input resistance, output resistance, and how they are going to talk in terms of gain. So ಈ aspect ನಾಗ ನಾವು ನಾಲ್ಕು derivations ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. This will be the first half of your entire module number 3. Once that is done, we're going to shift towards what is known as power amplifiers. We're going to classify them in terms of class A, class B, and then class AB kind of amplifiers, and we are going to see the class C tuned amplifier also. So basically, we're going to understand four different amplifier versions in the second section of this feedback amplifiers. So that will be the entire agenda of this entire module number 3. So with this, let us quickly jump into some of the introductory part. So today in this class, I'm going to give you a brief about the introduction. And I guess this introduction you already know, because we have covered most of the aspects in module number 4. And today in this module number 3, we are going to start with some of the again introductory note about the feedback amplifiers. So with this, we're going to start with the today's content. So let's try to start. So okay, so okay, let me give you some of the introduction about the feedback amplifiers. Okay, the phenomenon of feeding a portion of the output signal back to the input circuit is known as feedback, and the effect results in dependency between the output and the input, and an effective control can be obtained in the working of the circuit. So as we have already seen, how feedback can ensure a better controllability in terms of gain, in terms of input resistance, in terms of output resistance, in terms of bandwidth, in terms of all other aspects. So that's what he's talking about here. And basically, when we talk about feedback amplifiers, there are two category of feedback amplifiers. So one being the positive feedback, and the other being the negative feedback. So this is the scenario. Let's try to understand how exactly the positive feedback and negative feedback can be further understood. So basically, the Positive feedback, or which is also known by the name regenerate feedback, is used to ensure uh, the feedback signals, whatever we are giving back to the input, is in phase with the input signal, and thus helps in increasing the amplitude. So basically, positive feedback increases the gain of the amplifier. It, in that meantime, also increases the distortion, noise, and instability. So basically, positive feedback is going to ensure the amplitude is enhanced. So that's the reason these kind of positive feedback or regenerative feedback, they are typically used in oscillators, because in oscillators I require sustained oscillations, and I can clip off the higher amplitude signals in the oscillations, and I can ensure a continuous signals are generated by employing the positive feedback. So positive feedback ನಾವು ಯಾವತ್ತು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಆಸಿಲೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So once we are done with the positive amplification or positive feedback signals, uh, what about the negative signals? So this is how the positive feedback works. So the part of the output is getting added at the input side, and that's how we're going to generate the output. And here also there will be an 180-degree phase shift with respect to the input signal. Now, a negative feedback or a degenerate feedback. So it's basically we're going to give some part of the output back to the input, and here, as we have already known, it is going to reduce the gain of the amplifier. But in the meantime, it is going to ensure the distortion, noise, and instability are reduced to a very, very minimal amount. That's the main advantage of employing the feedback. Now, we have also seen how feedback increases the bandwidth and improves the input and output impedances. That's what we are going to do with all the 4 feedback configurations that we are going to start and study in this entire module number 3. And due to these enormous advantages, negative feedbacks are frequently used in the amplifiers. Now, as an engineer, as an electronics engineer, you should be very, very aware, and you should be very crystal clear in your words when somebody asks you about feedback amplifier or feedback phenomenon. So, feedback ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟನಂತರ that will be because I am designing an amplifier. And if I'm giving a positive feedback, that's because I am designing an oscillator. So this is the main uh, agenda behind using the feedbacks. So because we don't have oscillators to study in terms of positive feedback, maybe I'll give you some references where you can look into those things and you can understand how positive feedback will enhance the or will ensure the oscillations are being maintained. But we are already knowing the fact that how negative feedback is ensuring lot many advantages with respect to gain, input and output resistances, and in terms of their bandwidth, all those things. So we're going to just have a glimpse of those aspects once again in this introductory class of this present lecture. So this is how the negative feedback looks. So negative feedback, here we are going to introduce again 180-degree out of phase outcome will be generated at the output over here. And this feedback network, whatever we saw both in positive and negative feedback, is made up of the passive elements. And this is represented by the term beta. So that's what we have learned in our all previous op-amp lectures. Okay, a brief comparison. If I just want to compare the positive and negative feedback, I can say that the same thing I can represent over here. In negative feedback, of course, gain decreases, but in the meantime, stability increases, noise and distortion also decreases, and the bandwidth is increased. That's the main important thing. Though the gain has decreased, but the bandwidth has increased. So this is the main advantage of ensuring the negative feedback whenever we are designing the amplifiers. And that's the main thing is it is used in the design of amplifier, and this positive feedbacks are used in the design of the oscillators. So with this, if I can just jump into some of the principle of feedback amplifier, let's say, yeah. So this is what I just wanted to highlight. So this is basically the feedback principle which we have discussed in the very first lecture. So A indicates the amplifier without the feedback, that is an open loop amplifier, and I have the input source. Here I have taken a general signal represented by X. X could be either current or voltage. So let us not ensure it is being confused with respect to whether it is voltage or current. It could be any of them. It could be either voltage or current. So if I have input signal XS, which is represented by the source, And at that point of time when it is entering the op amp, we call it as an input signal. So the signal which is entering the amplifier, that's what I usually talk. Yavattu yav signal nanaga there, see, this is entirely, when I talk about input, we should, your first question should be whether the input is with respect to the device you are using or the entire circuit. For this entire circuit, for this entire setup, the input is xs, but whereas for this amplifier the input is xi, because I am going to consider that input which is about to enter the op amp or which is about to enter any amplifier for that matter. So this is my amplifier without the feedback path. Now, once I attach a feedback path over here, this entire setup becomes the amplifier with feedback. And the path from input signal to the output is known as the forward path, and the path from the output back to the input is called as reverse path. That's what the arrow marks are represented. And this is basically known as signal flow diagram, because I'm representing rather than voltage and current, I'm representing entire setup in terms of some signals. Okay, so this is what I just discussed. Xi being the input signal, XO the output of the open loop amplifier, and see the subscript F indicates it is a feedback term. So XF is nothing but the feedback signal that is being entering the amplifier A. So I'm feeding back some portion of the output by passing that output into the feedback network, which becomes XF, and that XF is getting added to this XI, and finally this addition of XI and XF will be entering the amplifier with gain A. Okay, so if I just want to represent X0 can be represented as A into Xi. So that's what I represented over here. And beta being the feedback factor, XF is the feedback signal. And what is XF value? XF is nothing but, since it is a negative sign over here, it is X0 times beta. And since it is negatively getting added over here, or it is getting feeding back in terms of negative, so minus signal is represented over here. So I can represent XF as minus beta times X0. So the feedback signal XF is subtracted from the source signal XS to produce the signal XI. So basically what is XI? XI is nothing but XX minus XF, the source signal minus the feedback signal. As you can see the addition and subtraction symbol over here, XS minus XF, that is my XI. That's what I have written over here. So let me call this as equation number 3. Now, if I substitute equation number 1, which is x0 equal to a into xi, in equation number 2, so that is going to give me xf as, see, if I substitute x0 value here, so in x0 value will substitute xf will be minus beta times a into xi. So basically, my feedback signal is represented by minus beta a into xi. So that's what I have written over here. Now let's try to calculate the gain. So if I want to calculate the gain of the feedback amplifier, that's what we did in our all the previous lectures. Gain can be calculated in two aspects. One, gain of the amplifier, the gain of the entire amplifier circuit. Here I'm interested in calculating the gain of the amplifier. So gain of the amplifier, in the sense the gain of the entire amplifier setup, this entire thing I want to calculate the gain. So if I want to calculate the gain of this entire setup, this entire circuit aspect with respect to the feedback concept, then my gain will be output upon input. So my output upon input is given by gain with feedback x0 upon xs. So what is x0? X0 we just represented over here as a into xi. And what is xs? Xs we just written in the beginning, that is xs is nothing but, sorry, xs is what? Here I can extract from xs xi plus xf. So that's what I just wrote over here. Then once I try to represent that, substitute the value of xf. If I substitute the value of xf, so what will be the value of xf? Minus a times beta. So that I'll be substituting over here. So this should be minus. So once I do that, finally I'm going to get af is equal to a divided by 1 plus a beta. So this is what exactly we did in all our previous exercises, and we try to obtain that feedback term a divided by 1 plus a beta. So if this is feedback is negative, then we are going to use it as an amplifier. If the feedback is positive, we're going to consider it for the oscillator. and the general expression will be A divided by 1 minus of this A beta. A beta another positive with pantandra, then it is acting as a oscillator. So then my expression becomes A divided by 1 minus A beta. The A beta now in the present case it is negative, so minus A beta. So minus minus it will be plus. And that's the reason A divided by 1 plus A beta will be my feedback representation or feedback gain of this entire amplifier setup. So basically this is what we have done. AF is equal to A divided by 1 plus A beta was our expression that we have learned till date, and this is what we are going to continue. So for a feedback amplifier, AF is equal to A divided by 1 plus A beta. So this is with respect to the feedback amplifier concept. So this we have learned. Now let's try to understand what are the general properties of the negative feedback amplifier. Now these are some of the properties of negative feedback amplifier. As you can see over here, the negative feedback amplifier will help in desensitization of the gain, or it is going to desensitize the gain. I'm going to talk about that, what exactly desensitizing the gain means. Let us go through the entire properties. It is going to reduce the nonlinear distortion. It is going to reduce the effect of noise, and it is going to control the input and output impedances, and it is going to extend the bandwidth. So from examination point of view, the typically one of the question could be mention the different properties or advantages of the negative feedback amplifier. So these five could be your answer. Now the other question could be they are going to ask this for entirely for 10 marks, wherein you're supposed to explain each of them with a proper explanation. So now let us try to understand the basic agenda behind how exactly these things works. So when I say about gain desensitivity, see now here I know that the general form of the feedback is given by this particular term, or for example, or for that matter, feedback setup gain A divided by 1 plus A beta. So this is the gain of my amplifier with feedback. Now let's try to understand if the open loop gain is 100, and let's assume beta is equal to 0.25. So that is beta is nothing but the amount of feedback. And as I told you earlier, it is made up of passive elements. Typically, it is made up of resistors. So let's say that beta is having a value of 0.25, A is having a value of 100, and if I try to calculate AF, the AF, if I do the substitution over here and try to calculate, this is going to come as 3.84. So that is my gain with feedback. Of course, look, A was 100 without feedback, then gain 100 ittu. With the feedback, then gain 3.84. It has reduced drastically. But ನನಗೊಂದು main advantage ಏನು ಸಿಗ್ತದಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, though the gain has reduced drastically, of course I can accept that the gain reduction is tremendously low. But in the meantime, let's see what is going to happen. Suppose ಈ ಓಪನ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಗೇನ್ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈರ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಗೇನ್ 100 ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ, ಈಗ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈರ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಗೇನ್ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ನನ್ಗೆ 50 ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬೈ ಸಮ್ ಹೌ, then like for example I can calculate V naught is equal to, see for example I'm just going to open, if I can calculate the output voltage in terms of the gain and input voltage, like for example we know that V naught is given by Vi times A. If A is 100, absolutely fine, and let's say input is 1 volt, it is multiplying and output is equal to 100, absolutely fine. But what if this A reduces to 50? A 50 reduce atandre output nandu enagutte, it is reducing to 50. So if there is a sudden dip in the open loop gain, my output is also getting reduced accordingly. Fine, agreed. Then let us try to calculate the same concept with respect to feedback. Now, what was the feedback amplifier's gain, or what is the gain of the amplifier with feedback? Gain of the amplifier with feedback was this, and let's say, and now I am employing the amplifier with feedback, and the same phenomenon occurs. A has now reduced from 100 to 50, and it I have represented over here, and now beta is 0.25. I'll keep it as it is. and A now it is reduced to 100 to 50. So if I substitute that, what will be AF value now? AF value is 3.7. What was your AF value then? 3.84. Now what is the AF value? It has not reduced drastically. So basically with feedback, na calculate ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. If this is my output is equal to AF into VI, AF was 3.84 times 1 and output was 3.84. Now because of the dip in the A value, AF also decreased, but the decrease is very less, only 3.7, from 3.84 to 3.7 into 1, output will be not that change. See, as you can see, the output will not be affected drastically. Output ನನಗೆ ಮೊದಲೇನಿತ್ತು 3.84 ಇತ್ತು, ಈಗ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು 3.7. Not that much heavy impact is being caused with respect to output. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ನನಗೆ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈರ್ನಾಗ ಯಾವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಗೇನ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಮೈ the amplifier without feedback. So that's what we say, the gain is desensitized. So that is what we say, gain desensitization, or gain sensitivity has been reduced by employing the feedback concept in the amplifier without feedback. So amplifier with feedback ಒಳಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ನನಗೆ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈರ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಗೇನ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಗೇನ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ I meant. This circuit without this portion will have a heavy impact on the output voltage. This circuit with this portion, that is with beta, even though anything happens to this parameter A, my output will not be affected. That's what I just showed you over here. Even though A has changed here from 100 to 50, 100 in the 50 change ಆಯ್ತು, but ನನ್ನ output voltage ಏನಾಯ್ತು 3.84 ಇಂದ just 3.7 change ಆಯ್ತು. Suppose ಇದೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಈ particular thing, if this was not there, this beta parameter was not there, if there is no feedback, ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಕಿತ್ತು, if there is a reduction in the A from 100 to 50, my output also would have been reduced from that particular amount of value 100 to 50. So this is basically the sensitivity of the gain. So that is the first property, or the first advantage. Now we already talked about the bandwidth extension. I just come to that bandwidth extension. But before that, let me talk about noise reduction. How noise is going to reduce when I'm going to use the feedback amplifier. So this portion we haven't covered when we talked about op-amp as a used in a negative feedback manner. But now let us try to understand, if I'm going to use the feedback amplifier, how the noise is also getting reduced. As you can see over here, I have an amplifier, an open loop amplifier with gain A1, and it has got an input signal Vs, and there is some noise getting added to it. And I have shown here over here just like a one more noise source. And this indicates some noise is getting added into it. Now if I try to calculate the signal to noise ratio, so usually the signal to noise ratio, what exactly that mean? Signal to noise ratio ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Usually I should have signal to noise ratio should be very, very high. So what that indicates, signal should be higher than the noise. The ratio calculate ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ the numerator component should be very, very large as compared to denominator. ಅವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನನಗೆ output will be in terms of positive value, or it will be of greater value. So this indicates that in an entire setup, your signal content is more than the noise content. But if the noise content is more, then S to N ratio, or SNR, signal to noise ratio, will be dipping. So that indicates your most of the entire content is getting dipped, or your output is getting dipped in terms of your expected outcome. So now let's try to understand, Vs by Vn is the signal to noise ratio. So this is what is going to happen. Now if anything happens to noise, or if noise is increased, what is going to happen to this SNR? If noise is increasing, then definitely SNR is going to decrease. So that indicates that my outcome or output will be corrupted on. So this is what it's going to showcase with respect to this particular setup. Now consider another amplifier stage, as I have shown over here. So I have two amplifier stages. Earlier I had only one amplifier stage. Now let's try to attach one more stage behind this. If I try to attach one more stage behind this, so noise is getting added to the first amplifier stage over here. Other ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು amplifier ಅದ with gain A2. Now this entire thing is being attached in the feedback form with a feedback factor beta. So the entire thing I am making it as a feedback setup or feedback amplifier configuration. So ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? What is that I'm going to achieve by making this entire thing? See, basically, as you can see over here, what is the output of the signal to noise ratio, that is V naught by Vs. If I try to calculate V naught upon Vs, so what will be the, since it is feedback amplifier, my output na output hang baribekiga A divided by 1 plus A beta ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನಾಗ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ನಾನು. So now because output is coming between, or it is coming through A1 and A2, so I can write V naught is equal to A1 A2. ನನಗೆ ಗೇನ್ ಒಂದೇ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ A ಬರುತ್ತಿದೆ. Now because there is a two gains, I will be writing A1 A2 whole divided by 1 plus A1 A2 into beta. So it is resembling the equation as that of your feedback setup, that is A divided by 1 plus A beta. Expression it is getting equated. So this is my V naught upon Vs. Now let's try to calculate V naught upon Vn. What is the output versus noise with respect to this particular amplifier A1? So illi ನನಗೆ A1 input ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ noise ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So I'll be considering in the numerator only A1. But because while writing in the denominator, it will be 1 plus A into beta, and beta is here, and the feedback factor or the feedback component is passing through both A2 and A1. So ನಾನು denominator ನಾಗ both A1 and A2 ಬರ್ತಾವ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ numerator ನಾಗ ಬರೀ A1 ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So if I try to do that, V naught upon Vn, so it will be A1 divided by 1 plus A1 A2 times beta. So this is what is the expected result of V naught upon Vn. So now if I try to divide V naught upon Vs upon V naught upon Vn to obtain the entire output. So if I do that, this equation number 1 upon equation number 2, so what is that I'm going to get? A1 1 plus A1 A2 beta. Illinu A1 1 plus A1 A2 beta, they cancel out, and what is that I'm going to get? V naught upon Vs whole divided by V naught upon Vn. I'm going to get Vs upon Vn is equal to A2, or signal to noise ratio is equal to Vs upon Vn times A2. What is that it is going to symbolize? What is that it is going to prove to me? See, even though the noise content is increasing, if at all noise increases, I can still minimize the impact of noise by increasing A2. You'll notice A2 is in my hand. Even see, earlier this A2 was not there, this A2 was not there. So now because signal to noise ratio, if somehow noise increases, how and if noise increases, this signal to noise ratio decreases. But how can I ensure the signal to noise ratio is retained high? I can do that by making A2 to be a greater one. So this is how I can make sure the signal to noise ratio to be of higher value by arranging two amplifier stages in this particular manner, that is in the feedback manner. So this is how I can ensure I can be doing this. Just give me a moment. Okay, so this is one of the main advantage of noise reduction. So this is my second outcome with respect to noise reduction. Now bandwidth extension. So I think we have learned about the bandwidth with feedback. The same concept I'm going to replicate it over here. As we have already seen, the bandwidth of an amplifier is the band of range of frequency for which the gain is going to remain constant. So we have seen at one particular break frequency, the gain starts to dip, and the gain at which or the frequency at which the gain is 1, that is my unity gain bandwidth. So between this particular two set, that is break frequency and unity gain bandwidth, whatever is my result, that is my the bandwidth. So this is what we have seen, or I can say up to the point where the frequency is dipping, that is considered as a constant bandwidth region. So this is what has to be increased now. So this is what we have done in our op amp lecture. So where we have seen let's say at 0 hertz gain is 90 dB, and at frequency f2 gain is 87 dB. So this is at 0 hertz the gain is 90, and at f2 the gain is dipping to 87 dB. So then f2 is known as the break frequency, because at that particular frequency the gain is dipping. So the unity gain bandwidth can be defined as gain multiplied by the break frequency. So that is A into f naught. So if I consider the same concept with respect to with feedback, I can write unity gain bandwidth is equal to AF into FF. And once I equate them together, I can obtain FF, that is feedback, the bandwidth with feedback, this particular value. And this is going to ensure the feedback amplifier is going to ensure that the bandwidth is going to be extended. See how these for the for any inverting, for any feedback amplifier, the AF is given by 1 A divided by 1 plus A beta. And if I substitute this particular term over here, so if I substitute in the place of AF, A divided by 1 plus A beta, so this is what I'm going to get. A into f naught whole divided by this entire setup. A cancels out and this term will come up. And what is that I'm getting? Frequency or the bandwidth with feedback is nothing but bandwidth without feedback multiplied by 1 plus A beta. So basically, I'm going to extend the bandwidth by the term 1 plus A times beta. So that will be the extension in the bandwidth. So that's what I have shown over here. So is the bandwidth, I'm extending it this large. But this all is happening at the cost of reduced gain. So gain drastically reduce aage agata. So this is what is the core concept behind using the feedback amplifier. So this is what I just wanted to talk with respect to the feedback amplifier properties. Now, and we have seen how exactly the input and output impedances can be controlled. Like we have already discussed Rin and Rout values of the inverting and non-inverting amplifier. So basically Ri will be increased from Ri to Ri multiplied by 1 plus A beta, and Ro will be decreased from Ro divided by 1 plus A beta. So that's what we have understood in terms of inverting and non-inverting configuration. Now also in this entire lecture, we're going to have a similar kind of discussion considering other feedback amplifier configurations. So with this, let's just move into some of the other aspects. Okay, so what are the different feedback topologies that are available with us with a small introduction. Now there are different names that we can give. We have given the name as voltage series and voltage shunt amplifier. So that exactly is represented over here. So as you can see, there are 4 configuration of amplifiers. So typically we call them as voltage amplifier, which is the first figure A, the current amplifier, figure B, the trans impedance, the trans resistance amplifier, and the trans conductance amplifier. So these are the 4 different feedback topologies that are available for us when we talk about the feedback amplifier concept. So if I talk about the first one, the voltage amplifier. So here the basic voltage amplifier, as you can see, input will be also voltage, output will also be voltage. That is V0 upon Vi. And the configuration what we have learned in our op-amp is basically your voltage amplifier only. So when you talk about the output is also in terms of voltage and input is also in terms of voltage, we call that configuration as a simple voltage amplifier configuration. And what if it is a current, both input and output side, if they are measured in terms of currents, I call it as a basic current amplifier. And what if the input is current and output is in terms of voltage? So that is known as trans resistance amplifier. So this is how the differentiation is carried out with respect to different amplifiers. And if there is reverse of this, input is voltage and output is current, I call them as a trans conductance amplifier. So this is how I can categorize 4 different amplifiers. Now I can, as you can see over here in the bottom line, it is also called by the name voltage sampling series mixing. Voltage sampling series mixing. So why it is called by that name, or it is also called by the name series shunt topology. See, voltage mix sampling series mixing. So what is getting sampled over here? Voltage is getting sampled from the output side and it is getting mixed up in a series manner. So the particular terminal in the directly it is entering the input. Each particular terminal in the it is entering the other part of the input. So in the form of series mixing it is happening. So voltage sampling, what is getting sampled? It is the voltage sampling. How it is getting mixed up? Series. So parallel mix up ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ this way. So, as you can see in the second one, parallel mix up ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ as you can see across the two particular terminal parallel. Look at the difference. ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಒನ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಗೆ ಈ ಟೈಪ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್. If I am connecting this way, it is parallel. And what could be the name of this over here? What is getting sampled over here? As you can see, current is getting sampled, and how they are mixing? In a shunt mixing or in a parallel mixing. So current sampling, shunt mixing, I can call this way. And if you can talk about this third one, it is again the sampling is done with respect to what? In the series, in this the third amplifier, that is transconductance. That is current is getting sampled, and how they are getting mixed up? Series mixing. So current sampling, series mixing. So you can remember these names by just remembering how they are getting connected. And what about the last one? What is getting sampled? Voltage sampling, and how they are mixing up? In the form of parallel connection. So voltage sampling, shunt mixing. So this is how a topology. So now, because I called this particular connection, one output bandu directly e input ge, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು output bandu e input ge. Because of this correct connection, I called this as a series connection. I can name this entire 4 configurations in terms of series and shunt configurations. ಈಗ ಹೆಂಗ್ ನಾನು voltage amplifier, current amplifier, transconductance, trans resistance ಅಂತ one set of name ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ? ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್, ಏನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತೈತಿ, ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತೈತಿ, ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ನಾನು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತೈತಿ. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತೈತಿ? Voltage is getting sampled in a serial manner. Current is getting sampled in a parallel manner or in a shunt manner. Again, current is getting sampled in a serial manner. Here in the last configuration, voltage is getting sampled in a shunt manner. Hing kotte. Idu second type of naming. Third type of naming heng madabodu? The way how they are connected, series or shunt or series or parallel form na yav type connect agava, adar prakara nanu I can name it. So I was talking this as series and taking out exactly at the other two ends. This way it is named as a parallel or shunt connection. So the first topology is also called by the name the series shunt configuration. In first na in configuration karitina, the first name in kortena, that is denoted with respect to input. Second na in karitina, that is with respect to output. See, series shunt configuration or topology. What about here? Shunt series topology. See the second one, shunt series mixing or shunt series topology. So series shunt input, if it is series, then it is a voltage amplifier. Input if it is shunt, it is current amplifier. And what if the other way? Transconductance amplifier naga both are in a series topologies. So series topology is nothing but your transconductance, and shunt configuration or shunt topology or parallel topology is nothing but your trans resistance configuration. So try to remember all the names. There are 3 set of names and all the 4 diagrams. So all these 4 circuits we are going to have a discussion wherein we are going to talk about R-in, R-out and the gain of this particular setup, that is voltage amplifier. Similarly, with respect to current amplifier, R-in, R-out and the gain of this current amplifier, and R-in, R-out and gain of this transconductance amplifier, R-in, R-out and gain of this trans resistance amplifier. And when you try to remember, just remember one thing, voltage ಮತ್ತು current properly ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. voltage ಗೆ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, current ಗೆ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ current ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. transconductance ಗೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ current ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಇದೊಂದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ transconductance. Trans resistance, remembering it will be easier. Just opposite of transconductance will be trans resistance. ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಡೀತದ, opposite of trans resistance will be transconductance. So you can remember the either way. Next is voltage amplifier ಬಂದಾಗ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ, ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕಂತೀನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೋತ್ ಇನ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಈ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕರೆಂಟ್, ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ, ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟನ್ಸ್. And see, as you can see, voltage the input ಏನದಲ್ಲಿ series connected ಇದೆ. This is exactly the same way it is connected. And current the output ಹೆಂಗ್ connect ಆಗೈತಿ, it is also connected series, so it is also connected series, and that's the reason it is called as series topology. Trans resistance ಒಳಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ನಾನು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ನಾನು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ. ಸಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡೆ ನೋಡ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೈತಿ, ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಶಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್, it is connected in a parallel format, in a shunt format. So basically the trans conductance is series, trans resistance is parallel or shunt. So please remember these four configurations when you talk about your amplifier topologies. So we're going to have these kind of things. So then one more thing I just want to talk about, now because I am using voltage source over here as the input, when I talk about the basic voltage amplifier, I'll be connecting the signal resistance or the source resistance of this voltage source in series with the voltage. That's the reason over here, and that's what he talks about over here. So in a voltage amplifier, the output quantity of interest is the output voltage. It follows that the feedback network should sample the output voltage. Also, because of the Thevenin representation of the source, the feedback signal should be a voltage that can be mixed with the source voltage in series. See, why we are calling it as a series? Because see, voltage source ಗೆ ನನಗ input resistance ಅಥವಾ voltage source ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ whenever I take any voltage source, how you connect the input resistance of that voltage source? In series. So voltage, so in voltage ಗೆ ನಾನು resistance series connect ಮಾಡಿದ್ನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನಾನು series ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಥವಾ how I can identify this is series and parallel configuration? You just look at the sources. ಈ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೈತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್. ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಗೆ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೈತಿ, ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್. ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ನಾಗ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೈತಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ series shunt configuration, isn't it? See what he has written over here. He has written here series shunt topology. You can remember the way how the resistances are connected. Here, what can I say? Because it is current source, and you know that Thevenin equivalent of current source now, whenever we try to get the Thevenin equivalent of the current source, or whenever we try to represent the current source will have its source resistance attached in parallel to the current source. This is the basic concept that we all know. Voltage source is the resistance series nagiratati, current ge it will be in parallel. Because resistance is in parallel, the connection will also be in parallel across the resistance. And because here, look here, what is the resistance, how it is connected? Because the resistance is connected in series with the current source over here. See, current is in series and the resistance is in series with the current flowing. The output side we call it as a series connection, and that's the reason at the output side we go with the series topology, and this is called by the name shunt series, because the way how the resistance is connected to the input and output, I define it by that name. What about this over here? Because the resistance is connected in series at the input side and at the output side also, the resistance is connected in series. I say, see, look at the current again and resistance, they are in series. I say this configuration as series, as you can see over here. And at the last configuration, because at the input side the resistance is parallel, and because at the output side the resistance is parallel, you can say that it is shunt configuration. And this is the very easiest method to remember. Just remember, for voltage amplifier, input is voltage, output is voltage. If voltage are the inputs and outputs, resistance should be in series. Mugudoytu. And if the resistances are in series, the connections also will be in, the resistance are in series, the connections will be in series. If the resistance is in parallel, the connection will be in parallel. See, at the input side, resistance is in series, connection is in series. At the output side, resistance is in parallel with the voltage, output, the connection is also in parallel. And the moment you talk about current source ಗೆ resistance parallel na connect ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, and hence the connection is also parallel or in shunt format. So this way we can remember the entire configuration setup of our entire four and amplifier configurations. So if I can just talk about the other thing, uh, yeah, these are the brief descriptions of these things. Whatever I just showed you with respect to the trans resistance, trans conductance, trans current amplifier, and the voltage amplifier. And this is how one can start remembering or start understanding the concept related to the feedback amplifiers. So in our next class, we're going to talk about series shunt feedback amplifier. And one more thing I just wanted to show you. This is what we talked about in our the first lecture, op amp with negative feedback, and we say voltage series feedback amplifier. So why the voltage series feedback amplifier we called? Look how the voltage is connected at the input side. Voltage is connected at the input side in the series manner, isn't it? Look here, this is what the description I showed you, and I told you that point of time. You just remember, you just ensure that you remember the name voltage series. Yakanta, I'll tell you in the subsequent class. Now this is the time why I am telling it. Voltage series feedback yakande pandra. Voltage is fed serially at the input side. So all your non-inverting amplifier, whatever you have learned, the non-inverting amplifiers are your basically the voltage amplifier, that what we did. Compare this circuit, the first one, and the one which I had drawn out here, or this one. They're exactly the same thing. So your non-inverting amplifier is your voltage series connection, or your basically the series shunt topology, or basically your simple voltage amplifier. So this is what we have already learned in our all the subsequent previous lectures. And now here we are going to do the generalized description of this entire setup. We're not going to continue explaining by considering op amp as an example. We have already done it by considering op amp as an example. Now, while doing this expression, I'm going to consider a generalized setup. So now, since we have already done this expression, it is again a repetition of this exercise, and we are going to get the same expressions what we have obtained in the previous thing. But in an op amp chapter naga, I took deliberately a op amp circuit itself in the feedback format. Each chapter naga, I don't consider op amp here. I say a general voltage amplifier. And what about the inverting configuration? Inverting configuration was also your similar kind of amplifier which we discussed in the op amp chapter. So this is basically your voltage amplifier that we have already discussed. So with this, I'm going to conclude today's lecture, and we're going to stop today's class, and we can continue the things about the derivation of these concepts maybe in the subsequent class, maybe in the Monday's class, since now we know the entire basics of all the feedback configurations, and one by one we'll start to explore the feedback setups. So with this, we conclude today's lecture. So thank you for your patience listening. We'll again meet in the next class. So we'll try to wind up this class. Try to give the attendance. I have enabled the attendance link. So the code is 1832. 1832. The code is 1832. One 1832 is the attendance code. You can exit from the class. Thank you for today's class. We'll meet again in the next class. Thank you.